Hey everyone and welcome back. So I want to do a news video for today. I know I'm a little bit behind in some of these things, so definitely wanted to do a catch up. I know I've been a little light on videos for the last week and a half or something. I'm going to explain that actually in an upcoming video. But as far as today goes, there's a lot of really cool announcements, including one I'm super excited about. I know some of you probably already know about it because they did post a post. I don't know how many of you see those in your feed. So we'll get to that one in a moment. But first up, I do want to mention actually Kino has a sale going on. They're calling it the Winter Wonderland Sale. And that's going on until Monday, December 19th. And these sales from Kino are usually really, really great. That's usually when I load up on a lot of Kino titles. I mean, occasionally there's one where I'm like, I can't wait. I got to get it right away. Probably like the upcoming Rawhead Rex. I probably won't wait. I'll probably get that one right away. But usually then it's kind of like with Criterion where I wait till the 50% off sales. It's the same thing with Kino. I wait for their sales because their sale prices are usually really, really great. So if you're looking for any Kino titles, I highly recommend going over to their website, kinolorbor.com, and take advantage of the sale. And next up, I want to mention coming March 14th from Synapse is a standard release of Dario Argento's Phenomena, the 4K release. So for those of you who weren't interested in sort of the sort of deluxe packaging version, which is very similar to Arrow's type of packaging, I know those because they're very expensive. And if you kind of don't care about some of the swag, as I call it, you know, it's like I can understand waiting for a less expensive version, you know, mainly if you just want the discs. And so finally for Phenomena, that is coming again March 14th, retails for $49.95. But I mean, honestly, as it gets closer to release time, especially in places like Amazon and stuff like that, I'm sure that price is going to drop quite a bit. And as far as I can tell, it looks like it has everything that was in the other release, obviously outside of the stuff that kind of came with it. But as far as the disc goes and the extras on those discs, it looks like everything's here, including all 3 cuts of the film. So if you're a fan of the film like I am, but you didn't get the limited edition, have no fear, the standard edition is coming out this March. Next up is a new release in the Vestron line, which is so good. I'm glad that they're really starting to kind of get these out, actually, you know, every couple months, it looks like. So coming January 24th is the Dentist Collection, which will have the Dentist and the Dentist 2. It's got a lot of extras on it for each. As you can see here, it's got an audio commentary track with director Brian Usna and special makeup effects supervisor Anthony C. Ferrante, and isolated score selections and audio interviews with composer Alan Howarth and director of photography Levi Isaacs. The Doctor is Insane, an interview with actor Corbin Burnson. Medical Malpractice, an interview with co-writer Dennis Paoli. Mouths of Madness, interviews with special makeup effects supervisor Anthony C. Ferrante and makeup effects artist J.M. Logan, as well as a trailer and a still gallery. And then The Dentist 2 has an audio commentary with director Brian Usna and effects artist Anthony C. Ferrante, score selections and audio interviews with composer Alan Howarth and editor Christopher Roth. Jamie's New Neighbor, an interview with actress Gillian McWhirter. A Tale of Two Dentists, an interview with producer Pierre David. Mouths of Madness, The Dentist 2, interview with special makeup effects artist Anthony C. Ferrante and effects artist J.M. Logan, as well as the trailer and a still gallery. And again, that is due out January 24th. And just like the other Vestron titles, I mean, again, if you pre-order them, like on Amazon, you know, you get them really cheap. In fact, actually right now, as you're looking at it, I believe the Amazon price as of this recording is even down to $12.96. And you get both films in one collection for $12.96. So again, so happy that the Vestron line is alive and well and going probably stronger than it ever has. And again, at the proper price point as well. And sorry if my stomach's growling. I'm really hungry. I haven't eaten yet today. I've actually been fasting for a couple days this week. So if you hear my stomach growling, I apologize. So this next one is actually from Turbine in Germany. And this is an interesting one because some of the wording here is a little specific. So I'm going to cover that in just a second. But they are actually releasing a 4K version of Peter Jackson's The Frighteners. Now, this is a release a lot of us have been waiting for a long time. And most of us have actually thought that Arrow was going to be putting it out, which may still happen. I don't know. But Turbine in Germany is actually going to be putting it out. And it looks like it's actually a really nice release. I guess Peter Jackson did sign off on the new transfer, which it did get from Universal Germany, I believe. Actually, it says right here. So it has a new 35 millimeter negative scan that was done at Universal in the US, and then the restoration was done in Germany. So this is an interesting point before I kind of get to a couple more of the details. But because what it sounds like is basically Universal here in the States did the raw scan of the negative. So Turbine obviously did their own restoration. Now it says that it's specifically licensed to them for about 5 years. Now I believe that basically refers to their restoration, which means that, for example, Arrow could still do a release of their own, just they would obviously do their own restoration, which they probably would anyway. But if you're a fan of the Frighteners and you don't want to wait for another release, this looks like it's packed. It looks like it ports over a lot of the legacy extras from like the Blu-ray. Actually, some of these I think go back to the Laserdisc, if I'm not mistaken. It's got both cuts of the film. I believe both of them are in 4K, so the original theatrical cut as well as the director's cut. It does have a new Dolby Atmos track. The interesting thing here, which I don't know what to think, it's kind of cool, but at the same time I'm like, yeah, all right. It's actually an open matte version. So a lot of films in the late 80s, especially through the, well, actually even into the 2000s even, were shot on Super 35 millimeter format. And then matted for widescreen from that. Now that's obviously, now 1:85 to 1 widescreen, that's pretty much been the standard. That's actually how that aspect ratio is usually applied. For 2.35 to 1, it's done on occasion, but usually not so much. Usually use an anamorphic lens, which sort of, has a widescreen, sort of squeezes it down to the, square image of the 35 millimeter frame. And then when you project it, put an anamorphic lens in front of the projector, and then it unsqueezes it, and that's where you get the wide image. So, but there was a process that was done because Super 35 millimeter film was it was a fantastic format. It had a very fine grain structure. So you could actually shoot it and then, in essence, quote unquote, letterbox it. And then the center image was basically the widescreen. A lot of films, James Cameron used this on most of his films. I believe starting with The Abyss, and then it went on through, for sure, True Lies, possibly Titanic. I'm not 100% sure about Titanic, but I know for all of them, one's from True Lies, Terminator 2 as well. So it's, and a lot of other filmmakers, I know, like Scorsese used it on Casino at least, maybe use it on other films as well. But anyway, my main point here is that they're actually showing an open matte version of it. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what that's all about. Because you're going to see stuff that technically you weren't intended to see, but, I guess it's kind of nice as a novelty. And like I said, it looks like it's porting over a lot of the extras, including that 4-hour documentary, which luckily I believe has been on the DVD and the Blu-ray. And again, that goes back to Laserdisc, and that is a fantastic behind-the-scenes documentary, so I'm glad that's still on here. So this is currently estimated for December 2nd. Which is already come and gone. Is it out now? I probably should have paid attention to that before I sat down to make the video. Maybe it is out now, so I don't know. Maybe you can get it. I know it's not currently on some of the places here, like Diabolic DVD, for example, but I don't know. So if you're interested in it, keep an eye out, depending on where you live. I'm kind of curious. I don't know what I'm going to do with this set yet, because part of me kind of thinks that Arrow is still going to put it out. So now maybe that's wishful thinking on my part, but I don't know. I must admit, I don't know. I'll have to kind of play this one by ear. But definitely let me know if you're going to try and track this down, because it looks like a nice set. It looks like it's actually a box set, and it comes with a lot of cool stuff with it. So Scream Factory has announced a couple titles. Well, actually, one of these was actually announced a long time ago. The details were released, and I don't think I actually ever covered it. So I actually do want to mention it real quick. And that is actually the upcoming release of, coming January 31st, of the Dawn of the Dead remake, the Zack Snyder version, not the Romero version, but the Zack Snyder version. So the 4K announcement was obviously made a while ago, but looks like from everything here, it's the exact, I don't think there are any new extras here. It looks like all the extras, I believe, are previously released. So disc 1 is a 4K release of the unrated cut. And that's the only 4K thing in this. Now, it is a brand new transfer that was done this year, but the theatrical cut is ironically Blu-ray only. So disc 1 is the 4K disc with the unrated cut, and then disc 2 is the Blu-ray with the unrated cut and a bunch of the extras, which you can see here. And I believe these are all from the previous Scream Factory release, because obviously they put it out on Blu-ray as well. And then disc 3 is the theatrical cut, which even says here, it's a 2K scan from the interpositor, so I assume that's the same one from their previous release. So technically, the unrated cut is the only one getting the 4K treatment. So this is kind of interesting because this is actually the opposite of what was done for Army of Darkness and Life Force. You know, where for Army of Darkness, obviously the theatrical cut got the 4K, but none of the other cuts did. And same thing with Life Force. The theatrical cut got a 4K, but the longer cut, unfortunately, did not. Now, in this case, we're actually getting the unrated cut in 4K, which is the one I would watch, so I'm kind of happy about that, but still just kind of interesting. And then the other release is actually I believe it's up right now, if I'm not mistaken, this is a site exclusive, so you can only get it from Shout Factory Direct, and unfortunately they do not ship internationally, just as a heads up on that. But it is a release of The Evil That Men Do on Blu-ray, which is a Charles Bronson film. So any Charles Bronson film that gets a release, I will be grabbing, at least at some point. Hopefully I can still grab it, because it is limited to 1,500 copies. And it does have the R-rated and unrated cuts of the film. And this is interesting. It actually has the TV cut of the film in standard definition, which is actually a few minutes longer. So the theatrical cut and the unrated cut are each around 90 minutes. So I'm assuming the unrated cut is basically just a couple minor seconds. And then the TV version actually runs 96 minutes. So that's interesting. And then it comes with a trailer as well. And I believe this is up it's up for order right now. So I definitely want to grab it as soon as I can. Hopefully before it sells out. I'm just trying to take a breather here. And also coming next year, and I don't have too many details on it, but Scream Factory is actually going to be doing a 4K release of Slumber Party Massacre and Slumber Party Massacre 2. Now, as far as I can tell, I believe it's a double feature release, so it'll have both films. I believe they're both in 4K. Now, which is great news, because their transfer for the original Slumber Party Massacre that they did on the Blu-ray, which I believe was the Steelbook exclusive, was great. So if they're using that basis for the 4K, should look phenomenal. Slumber Party 2 is exciting because, of course, some of you may remember their double feature of Slumber Party Massacre 2 and 3 went out of print really fast. And I don't know if there was a rights issues or what, but I'm so happy that Slumber Party 2 at least is coming back in a 4K. So once I have more details on that, I will definitely let you guys know. And then the big one, at least for me, of course, we have the details on the Martin, George Romero's Martin from coming out from Second Sight in the UK. It's obviously getting a 4K release as well as a Blu-ray release, but the Blu-ray is region B locked, just as a heads up for those of you outside of the UK. So coming February 27th, and it looks like there are three versions of it. There's the 4K limited edition version, which I will cover in a second, as well as a 4K standard release and a Blu-ray standard release. So you do have options here as far as what you want to get. So the 4K release, as far as I can tell here, looking over this, does have all the extras on it, which is great news, because I was kind of worried, just like what they did with the Dawn of the Dead release, which makes sense, don't get me wrong, but the fact is, with that release, obviously the movies were on 4K disc, all the extras outside of the commentary tracks were on the included Blu-rays, which were region B locked. Luckily on this, because all the extras are on the 4K disc, it means for those of us who aren't region free can actually watch all the extras, which I'm very happy about. So it does have a new transfer from a 35mm dupe negative. Now what that means is Martin was shot in 16mm film, but as far as I know, those original elements unfortunately were lost years ago, which is very, very sad. So the only thing that exists now is obviously a 35mm blow up. Now that's how the film was seen at the time. Now that's technically not really a bad thing. Would it look better if you had the original 16mm elements? Yes. But the fact that this is a 35mm dupe negative, which was probably struck at the time, I'm sure, it should actually look really, really great. And it was supervised by director of photography Michael Gornick, who also did Dawn of the Dead, which he supervised that one as well. Sorry about my hair. I shouldn't play with it. So the 4K will have an HDR presentation of the film, and the Blu-ray obviously has the new transfer. And again, all the extras are the same on both the 4K and the Blu-ray, which include a new audio commentary track with Travis Crawford, a new audio commentary track with Kat Ellinger, as well as a new documentary called Taste the Blood of Martin, a feature-length documentary including location tours, Scoring the Shadows, an interview with composer Donald Rubinstein, and it ports over a couple extras in well, including this first one, which I'm so happy is here. It's an audio commentary track with George Romero, John Amplis, and Tom Savini. That actually comes from the original Anchor Bay DVD from way back. That commentary track is actually one of my favorites. I'm so happy it's on here because it was not on the Lionsgate release. Now, this also does have the Lionsgate audio commentary with George Romero, Richard B. Rubinstein, Tom Savini, Michael Gornick, and Donald Rubinstein. Now, in my opinion, this commentary track isn't, despite the people on the track, it's actually not that good. At least I didn't think it was that good. Not that it matters, but I'm just saying I'm just so happy that the other one from the Anchor Bay is on here because, again, I think that is a fantastic commentary track. Also has Jay Roy, New and Used Furniture, a short film by Tony Buba. Making Martin, a recounting, as well as trailers, TV, and radio spots. So again, all these extras are on both the 4K disc and the Blu-ray disc. So the limited edition version, I think, comes in like a harder outer box, kind of similar to, I think, what Arrow does. And it comes with a 108-page book with new essays by a ton of people. There's a ton of people here, as you can see, all these names. I don't know if I want to go through and try to mispronounce some of them, but you can see there's a lot here. And it comes with the original soundtrack CD by Donald Rubinstein, which I'm so happy is here. Martin has an amazing score. And now what I don't know is kind of specifics about the score, because I believe the original audio elements to the score, like the original tapes and everything, were unfortunately also lost a long time ago. So I believe they literally, the only thing they've had to use for soundtrack releases is actually using the original LP soundtrack from way back. And they've basically just been able to kind of sort of transfer that and sort of remaster it. That's probably what's here, it would be my guess. But still, amazing score. I'm so happy it's here. As well as 5 collector's cards, which you can obviously see here in the picture. And the limited edition does come with both the 4K and the Blu-ray. Otherwise, the other 2 releases, obviously, 4K only and Blu-ray only. Now that is up for pre-order right now, so depending on where you live, you definitely got some options. Obviously, if you live in the UK and Ireland, you can order directly from Second Sight. Now, Second Sight on this release, just like Dawn of the Dead, by licensing restrictions, cannot ship outside of the UK and Ireland, so you're gonna have to shop elsewhere. Now you can get it through Zavi, I know, depending on where you live. I know us here in the States, we can get it through Zavi. You can also get it through Diabolic DVD. That's where I pre-ordered mine from, which as of this recording, it hasn't, you know, they're still taking orders. So if you want to go over there and grab whichever version. But obviously this is one I've been waiting for, oh God, since it was announced, what, like 2 years ago or something? 2.5 years ago? It's like, you know, because that and Dawn of the Dead were announced at the exact same time. So I can't wait. Obviously I got my order in like immediately as soon as the pre-order went up. So that's it for this news update. Obviously, a couple things here. I know there's more stuff I still need to get to. I'm trying to make videos as much as I can. I am going to actually do an update video on some things that I do need to cover. Long overdue, for sure, including a lot of the stuff that I plan to do in the new year for this channel. It's going to be quite a big jump, actually. I'm going to really make a full commitment to this channel. So there might be a little bit of downtime, but I will cover that in the upcoming video. So definitely let me know your thoughts on any of these, and especially about like Martin, if you got your pre-order in, if you're looking to get it, and if you have any questions on that Frighteners set. I'm still trying to look into that a little bit more. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.